بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
What's up, people? In this video I'm going to be teaching you the basics of HTML, and we're going to try and do it in 10 to 15 minutes. So let's get right into it. So to begin with, you're going to need any sort of text editor. You can use Notepad as well, but I would recommend Sublime Text. That's what I'm using right here. We're going to create a new file, and we're going to save it as index.html. Just make sure you save it as .html. That is the extension for HTML files. And then basically every HTML file follows a certain skeleton structure, which is what we're going to be looking at here. This is a shortcut on Sublime Text that just gives you the skeleton. But we're going to write this from scratch so that we can understand, but I'm just giving you a very quick view. You have the doc type HTML at the top, and then you have a HTML tag, opening tag, and then a HTML closing tag, and then there's a header in that. So usually we indent them to make them more readable. So you have the head tag inside the HTML and the closing tag for the head, and then this meta char set is just the character set encoding. This will make sense later on, but this is how it's usually written. Inside the head you also have the title, and that's the head for you. Outside the head you have the body, which is everything that you see right here in the browser, and that's it. So let's try to create this from scratch. We've got a opening tag, exclamation mark, doc type, HTML, and then outside of that we have a HTML opening tag, HTML closing tag, and inside the HTML tag we have, what do we have? We have head, open and close it. It's good practice to open a tag and then close it immediately so that you don't forget about it. Inside the head we have a title. This is where the title of the page goes. So if you see on the tab here you have the title. That's just basically that. And then we're going to leave out the char set for now, but feel free to add it in if you remember it. We have the body outside the head, opening, closing tag, and then we can have content goes here, for example. I'm going to try and run this and just to see what we get. Open in browser. There we go. If we view page source, this is just basically the HTML that we've written. So to go through some of the tags that exist in HTML, we have the p tag, which is the most basic one in my opinion, paragraph, or this is a paragraph. We also have, let's have a look at that very quickly. I need to close this, refresh this. This is a paragraph. Let me zoom in so that you can see that. We have a div, which is a division between content. That's what a div looks like. Very similar to a paragraph, but has less styling. We also have a link, which is an a tag. I'm a link, but right now you can't click on this link because some of these HTML tags usually take attributes to make it to basically extend their functionality. So here the attribute that actually turns this into a link is href, which is where you add in the link that you want to navigate to. So we have www.google.com, and if I save that and refresh this, now it becomes a link, and this will actually take you to, it doesn't take you to that because we should type in HTTPS, and that will definitely take you to the link. There you go. They also have another attribute, which is target, and you can have different values for target. This is basically telling the browser where to open the new link. so it defaults to the same tab. If you put underscore blank, it defaults to a new tab, so you have both tabs opened. But that's a bit more advanced than the basics, but it's good to know anyway. What else do we have? We have a link, we have a div, we have a paragraph, we have unordered list, which is UL, and inside the UL we have the list items, open and close, list item 1. I'm just copying and pasting 2, 3, 4. That's what that looks like. List item 1, 2, 3, 4. They're unordered, basically bullet pointed lists. And then we have the ordered list. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this to save time, and just change the U to O, and now we have an ordered list, which will be numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me get rid of this. There we go. What else do we have? We have a table, open table, close table, and inside the table we usually have a T head. So we open T head and close T head, and then we have a T body outside of that. Oh my god, there we go. So inside the T head we usually have a TR, which stands for table row, and then we close the TR. Inside the TR we usually have a TD, which is a table, I'm not too sure, but we're gonna have this as the first header, header 1. We're gonna create 3 headers. We name this 2 and 3, and inside the body we'll have the TR again. This is basically for each row in the table, and then the TD is the column. I'm not sure why it's D, but two, 3. So this is header 1, 2, 3, col 1, 2, and 3. You can even give it attributes to add the border in, but we'll skip that for now. I'm sure you can just Google to find out how you can do that if you want, but to save time we're just going to move on to the next one, which should be, what else do we have? We have table, unordered list, ordered list. One of the other important ones is form. This is basically a form that captures data. So inside the form you would have an input field of type text. So this is to allow the user to add in some content. We also have an input type radio, which usually has a name attribute just to identify the input field. So I'm going to put red here as the label, copy and paste this to blue, and I'm going to separate them. We have a BR as well for separation, or a breakpoint, basically a new line. And let me have a look at this very quickly. I'm going to put another line here too. So this is basically a radio. Let's say you have, for example, a list of colors and you want the user to pick one of the colors. You would have something like this. I think I need a BR here. So you would name this as color, and you would give the other colors also the same name attribute to make them grouped, or to group them, sorry, and then the user can pick one or the other instead of what was happened earlier. So that's that. We also have a input type checkbox for multiple choices. Let's name this yellow, and we have another one called green, and then we'll just separate them with a new line, and this is what that looks like. So we have radios and we have checkboxes. And then if you want to submit that data, actually before we submit it, we'll add another select input field. This is basically to select from a list of options. So we have an option called option 1. We have that duplicated 2, 3, 4 times. And then if we refresh, before we refresh, we give it a line. There we go. So we have option 1, option 2, option 3, allowing the user to pick between options. And then if we try to save that, usually you would have to submit it using a button. So we put input type submit, which is a button for submission. And once you submit that, it should submit the form. There's a few more tags that I probably should have started with. For the title of a page, we usually have headers. So this is header 1. And that goes up to header 6. So we have header 2 all the way up to header 6, header 4, header 5, and header 6. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. The difference is just basically the size. So this is headed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And there's one more tag as well, which is the image. So this is how you would add an image into your HTML file. Use an img, and then you have an attribute called source, which takes in the link or the source for the image. So I've got this opened up. I'm just going to copy any image source, paste it into here, and this is a one tag, basically just a closing tag with a slash in the end instead of a open and a closing tag. I'm going to view that very quickly. There we go. I think that covers it all. Thank you very much for watching the video, guys. I hope that has been of benefit to you. I've tried to keep it as simple and as short as possible, just covering the basics, the things that I would use in a day-to-day job. If you have found it beneficial, then make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I will be uploading another video soon on CSS and JavaScript as well, and then taking it from there, so make sure you stay tuned. If you have anything that you'd like me to cover, then just make sure you let me know and I'll try to get it out there. Until next time.